Hello, good morning. How are you doing? I am more awake today than I have been for weeks, which is surprising. But today we're gonna be doing my August reading wrap up. I'm ready. Wait, hi, my name is Kitty. I am new to this. And today we're going to be talking about my August reading. Preface, because I know my friends are going to watch this. This is not a typical reading month for me. I procrastinated so much. I've been in a huge slump the last year, and this month, I think it was a combination of not having to study for anything this month and feeling like I had time, but then I was also procrastinating other things that I also wanted to get done. So this month is very much the outlier. But before I talk your ear off, I've already been talking for 7 minutes. I'm going to start with books I started this month but haven't finished. So the first being oh my god. The first being Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I did like a reading challenge a week ago and I have not continued since then because I've had other things to do, sadly. But yeah, I started this. I have not gotten much farther. If you're interested in my in-depth thoughts, watch the other video. This is probably coming up before that, but watch the other video. There's not a lot of in-depth thoughts because I'm like 100 pages in, but so far I'm liking it and I'm excited to see where it goes. The second book is the Iliad. I started this back in June. And then I paused it because I had to read the Odyssey for something else. And then I didn't read anything else of it until this month. In June, I stopped at about page 150 something, and I've since now gotten up to page 300 something. I have no reference. I'm on book 13, and I don't want to say I'm enjoying it because this is a lot. It's very heavy. It's a lot of fighting. It's a lot of names. But I am enjoying kind of seeing what this translation brings to this, and I read the Emily Wilson translation of the Odyssey as well, and I genuinely love what she's done with these works because they feel accessible. Like, I've started other translations of these and I hated them because they're so blocky, they're so like clunky, and she's managed to make it not feel that way, and because of that I'm enjoying it. But yeah, I'm still in the throes of fighting. We haven't even gotten to the horse yet. I'm trying not to move that much, but at the same time I'm like, it just doesn't feel right to not move. And now, to the books that I finished. I read 17 books. That is not normal. I read 17 books across 4,880 pages and 21.63 hours, according to storygraph. Statistic is my average rating, which is tragic. I don't think in the last 2 years my average rating has been this bad. I am usually so good at picking books that I think I'm gonna like and then actively like rating them relatively high. This month, I don't know what happened. My average rating for the month comes out to 3.38 stars. What was I saying? Let's get into the books that I read in August. It's gonna be so heavy. Okay, I'm gonna go chronologically. So I personally like going into books completely blind, and also I know that at least one of the books that I have here is on one of my friend's TBRs, and I don't want to give her any more information than she has already. So we're just gonna go chronological order. I started off the month with a bang. It was beautiful, it was gorgeous. If We Were Villains by ML Rio, I gave her 5 stars. I love this. It was perfect. It was so well written. It was so intriguing. I had so much fun reading this, and I also cried reading this. So I feel that says everything about this book. I'm crying thinking about it now. Sophia? Read it right now. The next 2 books I read, I don't own physically. So the first being In an Absent Dream by Seanan McGuire, which is the 3rd book, I think the 4th book in the Wayward Children series. I use these very sparingly. I just read one every now and then when I feel like just putting on a very short audiobook, and yeah, I had fun. I gave it a 3.5. It's an okay book. The writing was great. It's just that I feel like the books are too short for me personally to grow uber attached to any of the characters, but I do have fun like reading about their stories and reading just like the adventures that they go on, so I will continue to read them. But yeah, I read this one. I had fun with it. It was a good time. I gave it 3.5 stars. The next book was the shortest thing that I can ever tell you that I read. The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas by Ursula Guin. I reread this every now and then when I just need like a filler. It makes me cry every single time. It's extremely short. I gave it 4.25 stars. And then we have Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Listen, I read this before. This was a technical reread, and I gave it 4 stars. This is like, I think the only Jane Austen that I've read. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm lying and I'm just forgetting that I read something else. But I have a love for Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy that I think comes from this being like the OG, he fell first, you know? So yeah, I enjoyed this. I had fun with it. I listened to the audiobook while reading physically, and I had genuinely the best of times. The next book, I'm not going to talk about this for very long. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince by the Wicked Witch of the West. Actually, that's an insult to the Wicked Witch of the West. This was 1.25 stars. It made me cry because I was so angry. The next book was the single poetry collection that I read this month, A Cruelty Special to Our Species by Emily Tongmin Yoon. And I listened to this on audio, and it was heartbreaking. In all the ways it was supposed to be. I gave it 3.75. I'm not the biggest poetry fan. It's a lot. It's very heavy. The next book is my next 5-star. Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. This woman could write trash bags, and I would love them. I had fun. This brought me so much joy after everything else. After Harry Potter made me so angry, this was exactly what I needed, and it made me happy. I get that he, as a person, feels like too perfect. Like, he's absolutely too perfect. She is much more interesting, in my opinion, but still, I gave this 5 stars because I was happy. The next book I read was I Hope This Doesn't Find You by Liang. I didn't love the writing in this. I didn't feel anything for the characters, really. I just genuinely felt like it wasn't that great. The next couple of books I don't think I'm going to talk about too much because they're featured in a video, which is so weird to say, and I don't talk about, listen, I'm very bad at giving reviews of books, clearly, as you may have noticed, but I do talk a little bit more about them, like a very slight bit more about them. So, Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. I gave this 4 stars. I had a fun time reading it. I had fun with it. It was okay. It's YA. It read like YA, and I didn't hate that, but I didn't love it either. So there's that. Then we have Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, 1.5 star. And then I read A Tale of Two Cities, and I gave this 2.75 stars. This, I said this in the other video, this book I think just got the brunt of my bad mood after I read Deathly Hallows, and it was so pissed off and just like didn't like anything. So this got the brunt of that. I think I'll have to return to it someday, reread it, maybe reread it in like a discussion setting, especially because I think this is a book that you have to have conversations about, and it's not just like, it doesn't feel like just a casual read. This feels like a discussion book. This doesn't feel like a just casually read book. But what can I do? It was a 2.75 stars. The next couple of books I do not own physically. The first of which is What the River Knows by Isabel Ibañez. I had so much fun with this. I really did. It was so fun to read. Actually, no, it wasn't. It hurt my soul. I liked this book so much. I liked this book enough that I want to continue the series and see what happens, and it intrigued me enough to see where the characters go and how the characters grow, especially. This book broke my heart in so many ways. I am so soft when it comes to like mothers. I'm gonna cry. But when it comes to like parents and mothers and books, that is like one way to surefire hurt my feelings. And the mother in this, she did just that. She said, "You're gonna be so hurt. You're gonna be so hurt." And I really was. But I liked this a lot. I love the writing in this. I love the pacing of this. I think a lot of people had problems with that and were like, "Oh, there's not enough happening." But I really enjoyed it. I felt like the slower pace lended to what the story was more than anything else. So yeah, I highly recommend. I liked it a lot. I did give it 3.75 stars, which isn't the highest rating it could have gotten, but there were some things that just bothered me a little bit. It was heartbreaking, it was frustrating to its core, but overall I had such a good time. The next thing I read was What a Match by Mimi Grace. I listened to the audiobook of this and I despised it. I hated that audiobook with a burning passion. I also didn't love the writing in this. I didn't love the writing. I didn't love the characters at all. Like the characters as they were didn't make up for what the writing lacked. And because of that, this got a 2.5 star. It wasn't bad, it wasn't horrendous, it was just not great, in my opinion. And then I read a very, very short little comic called Nanami, Theater of the Wind. I feel like nobody knows about this, but at the same time, I was just looking for something quick to read, and I found this, and I was like, looks legit, let's go for it. And I read it, and I had a good time. It was very cute. I gave it 2.75 stars. It's very short. It's like, there's not much to it. But I did, like, I had fun reading it. It wasn't the greatest thing. It wasn't the worst thing. And yeah, so that's the next thing I read. And then I went into a little bit of a manga spiral. Just a little bit. Because I was like, I am not in the mood to continue the Iliad. Because it's too much for my brain. Like, I was so mentally spent at that point. I was like, I was so mentally out of it at that point that I was like, I need to read something that's like easy. I don't want anything that's like heavy on world building, heavy on anything grand. So I read 3 mangas back to back. 3 of them with, in my opinion, very different vibes as well. So first I started with Spy Family, which I will always love. Spy Family. I read Spy Family volume 11. I loved it. I love Spy Family. I have so much fun every single time I pick one up. I don't read them. Manga for me is very much like a periodical. Every now and then I'll pick up a volume because I just feel like reading a manga right now. Like, it's not something that I actively seek out over and over again. I have like 3 manga currently that I have like on rotation, where I'm just like every now and then I'll pick up a volume, and I love that. I have so much fun with that. And one of them is Spy Family, and Spy Family, to be fair, I will be very honest, is at the top of the list. I love her. She makes me laugh. She makes me happy. So yeah, this volume got 4 stars. Loved it. Had fun with it. There was a moment there where I was like, I don't want to know about this. And then it got fun again, so I'll take it. The second to last book that I read was One Piece Volume 4. I had so much fun with this. I gave it a 3.75 because I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest One Piece fan out there. I haven't watched the anime. I watched the live action. I enjoy what the live action did with certain moments because I'm still in the manga range where the live action takes place. I enjoyed certain things that the live action did so much better. I tried watching the anime and I just stopped. I couldn't. It was too much. It was too long. I got like 60 episodes in and I was losing my mind. But yeah, I enjoy reading them. I have fun with them every now and then. They're a very good like palate cleanser manga. It feels like you just know what you're getting into for them. So yeah. Also, Luffy is a fun character to read about. So there's that. I gave it 3.75 stars. I had fun, and then I read the final book of this month. That solidified my 3-point-something average rating. I read Yona of the Dawn Volume 3. The last time I picked up a Yona of the Dawn volume was like in 2023. Okay? When I say I read manga sporadically, this is what I mean. It was fine. It was fine. I think Yona of the Dawn to me is very much a product of its time. It feels like it's from 2010 and it feels like belongs in 2010. And I don't hate that I'm reading it. I have an okay time with it. I sometimes feel like it's a little bit drawn out. She says having read 3 volumes of 40 something. Maybe in the future I'll try and like get through them quicker. But generally speaking, I have fun with them. They're average to me. I give it a 3-star. It was an okay read. It wasn't the worst thing I've read. I said that so many times. It wasn't the worst thing I read. It wasn't the best thing I read. And to me, it was very middle of the road. I like the art in it. I have fun with the art, like looking at the art in it. But overall, 3-star. So, that, ladies and gentlemen, is everything that I read in August. It is a lot. It's a lot. This is not going to be a typical number of books for a month, I don't think. I don't think September is going to be that big of a month either. But we'll see. Yeah, that's everything I read. I hope you enjoyed. Bye! I don't think I have a proper outro for this channel yet. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. I'm also losing my mind. Can you tell?